All right, guys, welcome, man. Today we got to talk, man. We got to talk about Star Citizen because some of the game design direction doesn't make any sense. And I don't think enough people are talking about this yet. So let me tell you guys exactly what I mean here. So Alpha 324.2 PTU just got a patch update, and in it they said that gameplay, quantum travel polish, we made large adjustments to quantum travel speeds, accelerations, fuel storage use, and prices in 3.24.2 that will help balance movement around the PTU. Ship fuel tank sizes have been balanced across all ships to just for archetypes, with some getting less fuel and others being able to hold more. Quantum drives have been adjusted for fuel size, use, speed, and acceleration to balance ship travel based on shorter or longer distance archetypes. Cooldown times have not been adjusted. Now, there's a lot of things in this statement that just don't make sense. Like, why do you need to balance movement around the PU? I thought the entire point of this game was to get out into the PU and explore. Now, the main issue with this is that a lot of times when you are starting in a location, and let's just say you want to do your beginner bounty hunting mission, right? Which you have to opt into. What you have to do then is you have to normally fly to a different planet to do that mission. So depending on what ship you're using, that trip could cost you 28k plus the 500 alpha AUEC that you just spent. Now let's make this a little bit further, right? Now let's assume that they do a hard wipe in the future and they change nothing about quantum fuel prices. That means everyone's going to be starting with 200,000 alpha AUEC. So your very first time in the game, right, after a new patch launches and you're starting from scratch, you're going to have to spend 28,000 alpha AUEC to potentially fly to another planet just to do a certain you have to opt into. Now, if you intend to do gameplay around the planet that you started in, you now have to, spend way more money, and you're not going to be able to make that back quick enough to refill your ship. It's going to cost you hundreds of thousands of alpha AUEC to refuel your ship every time you travel around the verse, which that's not feasible. Now, I'm not saying quantum travel needs to go back to, the 10, 20 alpha AUEC or the 100 AUEC that it cost. It could cost 1,000. It could cost, 2,000 for, smaller ships, something like a Zeus, a Cutlass Black, some of these smaller ships. I would expect, a big ship to, when I say big ship, I mean a ship that is a capital class ship, to cost a lot of money to refuel, because it's a capital ship. It has a much bigger tank. But to do this to small ships, for me, it just hurts the game. It hurts the game, and it's one of those decisions to where you just can't help to get your conspiracy brain moving. And it's like, man, like, how are we supposed to play the game to buy ships, which is the only progression that they currently have, to buy other bigger ships? But how are you supposed to do that when you're constantly having to pay thousands, tens of thousands of alpha AUEC to refuel your ship? And this hurts cargo missions, because the beginner cargo missions, you have to use a quantum driver going different places. And as you progress, you're going further and further distances. So how is this supposed to balance movement around the PU when you're actively hurting one of your newest gameplay loops? You're essentially nerfing it, And I don't know if they're trying to sell us a new ship. I don't know if they're trying to sell us a new refueling ship. I mean, we already have one that doesn't work very well, that they really should spend time trying to fix. But I don't know if that's what it is. I don't know if they are trying to push out their older player base for a newer, younger player base. But if they're trying to do that, I don't think the newer, younger player base is going to look at this and say, man, like, I have to go here and I have to go here and I have to go there. and it's going to cost me this much just to move around. Like, what's the point in that? And the other thing too is it's just like, this would be okay if I didn't have to travel to 5 or 6 different places to get components for my ship. If I could be an R Corp and get every single component for my ship, and if I could be an R Corp and if I can get every beginner mission within my local area, like, I wouldn't like it, but it would make more sense, right? But here's the thing, and this is what CIG always does. They introduce something and then they don't fix the other things that need to be fixed to help make it actually feasible and usable. If beginner bounty hunting missions are not in your same local area, you have to travel to a different planet to do it. Dude, that doesn't make sense. Why are you doing this? I'm not saying make quantum fuel prices so low that you can't, that it's meaningless. Make it meaningful, but don't overdo it. What you're doing is you're overdoing it. It's overkill. No small ship should take you tens of thousands of dollars to refuel. A couple of thousand here and a couple of thousand there, sure. But if we're only barely making enough money from missions to just put fuel on our ships, that's a problem. You know, I think even like a VLRT, if you get a single one, right? It's like, not VLRT, but like a HRT or ERT, a single one, they're like 25,000 alpha AUEC. And it's just like, why would I even waste my time to go do any of these missions? Why waste my time to go anywhere beyond the spaceport? Because I'm not going to be able to make money to do anything else other than the game, other than just to keep my ship running. And so it's like, how do I get ships? Do you want me to go to the ship store and swipe my credit card? Is that your plan, CIG? Like, I don't know at this point. And it seems like, you know, we are just getting decisions that make little to no sense, and I can't wrap my brain around it for the life of me. It's crazy. It's insane. And, you know, it's just further proof that they have cognitive dissonance over there at CIG, because whoever made the design and wanted player agency, it's like, you're not giving us player agency. You're taking it away. You're taking it away. Like, how are you supposed to go do exploration gameplay, which doesn't really exist right now? You know, you just made a new exploration ship that why would they go use it? It's not particularly good in combat. There is no exploration gameplay, and it can barely haul anything. So the one thing that it's supposed to be able to do, you're not going to be able to do, because it's going to cost you too much money and fuel to do anything with it. You know, it doesn't have anything in terms of like a big fancy radar, a charting thing to go look through for wormholes. It doesn't have any of that. It's just a basic ass ship that's just new that will be parked in people's hangars because, you know, what's the point of even taking it out anywhere if it's just going to cost you so much in alpha AUEC to refuel it? Like, I don't understand this decision. I cannot get behind this decision, and I can't support it. You know, if they want us to play the game, they have to make the gameplay actually meaningful. Telling us you need to balance movement around the verse, for what? I thought the entire point was to get out and see the verse, which already has nothing. It's not like you're trying to restrict movement and then you're adding a bunch of new things that, okay, well, we need to make a bunch of money and we need to crew up to go do these things. And that doesn't matter either, because no matter how you slice it, somebody's got to pay for that fuel. And normally it's just going to be one person. And if you're splitting and sharing missions, you're even getting less money. So it really makes no sense. And I know that people will come in here and say, well, you know, it's an alpha, it's this, it's that. I'm tired of hearing that excuse. If Squadron 42 is feature complete like they claim, and this is not my claim, this is what they say, then we should not be seeing broken gameplay loops in the game. And why is CIG waiting until 2 weeks before CitizenCon to rush everything in at the last minute? Shouldn't they have been working overtime throughout the year to get all of these loops and all of these things in and all of these things done? But it seems like because the progress was so god awful and everything was so terrible this year, that it's right before CitizenCon, and because they want to make some fucking money, they're trying to rush everything in. They're trying to make all these changes that absolutely make no sense. It makes no sense. It's dumb, CIG. It's dumb. And there's too many content creators that are not calling this out, and I can see the writing of the wall. I can see it. The writing's on the wall. You can see it. This game is slowly dying. They are slowly killing it. And I don't know why they're doing that, but every decision that they are making at this current time is killing the game, guys. It's true. I don't want to hear anything else about it. It's true. Okay? And I know I don't have the most popular takes. A lot of people, when I make a video, they get in the comments and they want to get in there. They want to argue with me. They want to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. But how long are you going to sit around trying to grind missions in the PU when you can barely afford to fuel your ship? And it's just not quantum fuel that's more expensive. The hydrogen fuel is more expensive too. So if you're just flying your ship around in your local area doing bounties, you know, or bunkers and things like that, your quantum fuel is going to be half of your cost of just moving your ship around. So I don't understand this new direction. It makes no sense. Again, I'm not saying that everything should be cheap and easy. I am saying, though, it should at least make sense. And it doesn't.